Well, last week, the giant retailer Target announced that it was the latest company to drop health coverage for its part-time workers. The company suggested the workers would be better off in Obamacare and gave them $500 to make the switch. Some analysts said this was just the beginning of what could become an avalanche of companies deciding to drop their health insurance and dump employees on the taxpayers. What do you think, Brian Sickma?
Well, this is a problem that's twofold for the Obama administration. First of all, it shows that the politics of their plan to kick back the employer mandate by another year aren't going to work. There are going to be people that are experiencing Obamacare before the midterm elections. That was not what they wanted originally. Second, it shows the failure of this policy. Obamacare doesn't work because it's bad health care. It also works because it's bad public policy, even by its own standards. The whole point of Obamacare was to take people that are currently uninsured, put them in a system that would supposedly have them insured. Now we have an incentive set up for companies to dump these people.
Okay, Michael Holt.
Yeah, and I don't think they factored that in. They knew this was going to happen, and I'm pretty sure that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think a lot of corporations are going to drop health insurance for their employees because the alternative is to pay a $3,000 fine versus or $2,000 fine versus paying $10,000. But it could be a boon to the economy in some respects, because once they dump all of these people, doesn't that open up the door for employment opportunities? Don't they have all this ready cash available?
Okay, Michelle Hitchens.
I think we're going to see an avalanche of this happening over the next year. I agree with Brian on the fact that I don't think the president expected this to happen before the midterm elections, because I think it's going to come back to bite him in the butt.
Okay.
Oh, I definitely think they expected it, and it's actually going to get worse. The biggest group that's going to get dumped are employees of small businesses, and they're going to get dumped in October when you normally re-sign up for open enrollment. They're going to get letters saying you're dumped, and actually that's a problem for the midterm elections for the Democrats.
It is a huge problem. I mean, we've had a series of reports. Number one, that young people are not signing up. Then last week we got a report that the vast majority of people who are signing up for Obamacare were in fact previously insured, so the uninsured are not showing up. And then you're going to have millions, maybe even tens of millions of these employees who are going to be dumped from their health insurance plans. Boy, how's that working out for you? Is what they said this week the same as what you heard? Let's go around the table. Michael Holt.
Well, I'm going to stick with the last subject about Target. They said they were dumping all these people in part because they might be ineligible for the exchanges if they didn't do so. Actually, what I really heard was Target said they wanted to increase their profits since they're already losing money hand over fist because of the hacking scandal.
Michelle.
When wealthy New Yorkers accused Mayor de Blasio of political payback when their streets weren't plowed, de Blasio denied but avoiding plowing their streets, but later said perhaps they could have done more to plow their streets. But what I heard loud and clear was the media giving a pass to a Democrat for using his power for political payback.
Linda Bruin.
Thursday, Paul Ryan made it clear that he doesn't want to be Speaker of the House. He said he is more of a policy person, and the Speaker is expected to fly around the country helping folks, and he's not going to do that. What I heard is Paul Ryan sending a clear message. He will turn down top Republican House leadership positions to get what he really wants, the chairmanship of the House Ways and Means Committee.
Brian Sickma.
Well, the liberal activist Robert Craig said Governor Walker is, quote, using the state's resources for political gain, unquote, and misusing public office and public dollars by proposing a tax cut. Well, what I heard was a disappointed cheerleader for Obamacare upset that a Republican chief executive is finally going to propose an inevitably successful policy.
Well, marking the 41st anniversary of Roe v. Wade, President Obama said that abortion means that everybody gets to pursue their dreams. What I heard, everybody except the 56 million babies who were aborted. Next on Sunday Inside, our panel picks the winners and losers of the week. But first, here's your morning news update. It's time for our panel to pick the winners and losers of the week. Michael Holt, you're first.
Well, my winner is Hillary Clinton. This week, Priorities USA Action, the largest liberal PAC in the country, announced its support for Hillary Clinton 2 years before the election. It tells everybody else, get out the race. My loser, a state assembly committee that voted on Friday or Thursday for a watered-down version of a police investigation policy. Under this bill, only Milwaukee will be excluded from having outside investigators investigating cases of murder or killings.
Michelle Hitchens.
All taxpayers in Wisconsin are winners this week. Instead of raising your taxes like Jim Doyle and the Democrats did for years, Scott Walker and the Republicans are going to give you some of your money back. And all Americans lost something since Roe versus Wade. We've lost more than just teachers and basketball players and doctors and musicians. Abortion has allowed us to be selfish and narcissistic. And now it's acceptable to walk away from family responsibility. Whether it's a perfectly planned life or a very special life, we need to think hard about how we treat all life and what that means for the future of our country.
Linda Bruin.
Well, Governor Walker is my loser for calling the proposed minimum wage increase a misguided stunt done for political expediency and a cheap headline. That's pretty tough talk from a politician proposing a massive tax cut using funds the state doesn't even have yet while campaigning for re-election. My winner is Mary Burke, who responded to Walker's comments by saying that people earning a minimum wage and working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet would probably not think that getting a raise is a stunt.
Brian Sikma.
Well, the European Commission announced they're scrapping renewable energy mandates, perhaps because of continent-wide economic stagnation. For a bout of common sense, they are my winner of the week. The Wisconsin Government Accountability Board said they don't have to comply with the state's open records law, and they won't disclose how much they're spending on the John Doe investigation into conservative groups. For such secrecy and history of extraordinary and perplexing bias against conservatives, they are my loser of the week.
Well, instead of winners and losers this week, I'd like to talk about Andrew Bolt, the promising young man who was senselessly gunned down at Purdue University last week. It cuts very close to home because both of my sons went to Marquette High School with Andrew and his brothers. And my younger son, Alex, was in Andrew's graduating class. So we're all hit particularly hard by this tragedy. Words cannot express what his family must be going through. But please know that you and the entire Marquette community are in our thoughts and in our prayers. Thanks for joining us and joining me for my radio show Monday morning on News Radio 620 WTMJ from 8:30 until noon, and try to stay warm.